Just a short time into 2026, President Donald Trump is already looking ahead to the next major political test, the U.S. midterm elections. Behind closed doors, Trump has reportedly urged Republican lawmakers to protect their majority in Congress, warning that losing control could once again open the door to impeachment efforts. But as the political calendar moves forward, public opinion remains a serious challenge for the White House. Multiple national polls show the president's approval rating remains below water, even after a slight rebound following a steep decline late last year. And with fresh foreign and domestic controversies unfolding almost weekly, the political landscape is becoming increasingly complicated. So where does President Trump stand with voters right now? What do Americans think about his recent decisions? And how do his numbers compare with past presidents at the same stage? Let's break it all down. Trump and the midterm strategy. According to reports, on January 6 President Trump spoke with House Republicans, emphasizing the importance of holding on to their majority in Congress. His message was clear: maintaining control could help shield his administration from renewed impeachment efforts. Historically, midterm elections often serve as a referendum on the sitting president, and parties in power frequently lose seats. For the Trump administration, that risk appears even more pronounced given current polling trends. While political strategy is unfolding behind the scenes, public opinion tells a more complicated story. Controversy doesn't slow down. Despite declining approval numbers, President Trump has shown little interest in stepping away from controversy. In early January, U.S. forces carried out a surprise operation involving Venezuela, capturing President Nicolas Maduro and his wife after months of heightened diplomatic and economic pressure. The move immediately sparked intense debate, not only internationally, but also within the United States, with legal experts questioning the long-term implications of the action. Around the same time, the president also reignited discussion about U.S. interests in Greenland, reviving an idea that previously drew skepticism from both American lawmakers and international leaders. Back at home, the administration faced further scrutiny after two separate incidents involving federal law enforcement. In Minneapolis, a woman was fatally shot during an immigration enforcement operation. The following day, another incident in Portland left 2 people injured. These events intensified debates around federal policing, immigration enforcement, and accountability. While many of these developments occurred after several major polls were conducted, they form the backdrop against which public opinion is now being measured. Where Trump's approval rating stands. Aggregated polling data from major tracking organizations shows President Trump's approval rating remains negative overall, though it has shown signs of leveling out after falling sharply in late 2025. According to polling averages, Trump began 2025 with approval numbers just above 50%. However, by early spring, that figure slipped into negative territory, with more Americans disapproving than approving of his performance. The decline accelerated in the fall, reaching its lowest point in mid-November amid renewed controversy tied to high-profile investigations and the end of a government shutdown. Approval dropped into the low 40s, while disapproval climbed to the mid-50s. Loss of early January 2026, polling averages suggest roughly 44% of Americans approve of Trump's job performance, while around 53% disapprove. Other aggregators report similar results, with approval hovering in the low to mid-40s and disapproval near or above 55%. In short, while the slide appears to have slowed, the president has not regained positive territory. Economist/YouGov Poll Insights. A weekly national poll conducted in early January offers additional insight into how Americans currently view the president. In that survey, fewer than 40% of respondents said they approve of Trump's job performance, while more than half said they disapprove. The polls sampled over 1,500 adults nationwide, making it a reliable snapshot of public sentiment. The survey also explored public perception surrounding the ongoing Jeffrey Epstein-related controversy. According to the results, nearly half of respondents believe the administration is attempting to limit the release of information related to the case. Only about 1/3 disagreed with that view. When asked specifically about Trump's handling of the Epstein investigation, approval numbers were notably low, with a majority expressing dissatisfaction. Importantly, pollsters noted that opinions on this issue have remained relatively stable over recent months, suggesting entrenched views rather than a sudden shift. CBS/YouGov poll, Venezuela response. Another major poll conducted around the same time focused in part on the U.S. military action in Venezuela. The results showed a deeply divided public. Roughly half of respondents said they approve of the intervention, while slightly more disapproved. Poll analysts found that support often depended on how respondents interpreted the administration's goals. Those who believed the operation was primarily aimed at combating drug trafficking tended to express more approval. On the other hand, respondents who believed the move was motivated by access to oil resources or expanding U.S. influence in the region were more likely to oppose it. This divide highlights how framing and perceived intent continue to shape public opinion on foreign policy. How Trump compares to past presidents. When looking at historical context, President Trump's approval ratings stand out, and not in a positive way. According to long-term polling data, Trump's approval in December of his first year as president ranks lower than any other modern U.S. president at the same point in their administrations. For comparison, presidents like Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and Ronald Reagan all maintained approval ratings near or above 50% at the end of their first year. George W. Bush saw exceptionally high approval following the events of 2001. Even Joe Biden's numbers, though challenged, remained higher than Trump's at the same stage. Trump's approval rating in December 2025 reportedly sat in the mid-30s, matching the low point from his first presidency in 2017. This historical comparison underscores the unique political position Trump occupies, one marked by strong loyalty among supporters, but sustained opposition among a majority of voters. What this means going forward. As 2026 unfolds, President Trump faces a narrowing path. With midterm elections approaching, every major policy decision, foreign intervention, and domestic controversy carries increased political weight. Or whether current trends solidify into lasting political consequences. LSO, what do you think? Are President Trump's approval ratings likely to improve as the year goes on, or are these numbers a sign of deeper political trouble ahead? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more in-depth political analysis. Thanks for watching.